Property Tribes is in Belfast with Negative Equity UK, and I'm here with Tom, and Negative Equity UK specialists in landlord debt issues. And Tom, we feel it's really important at Property Tribes to kind of air this topic because, you know, landlords do get into financial difficulty for many reasons, and they need to get the right advice. And I'd be interested to know, when clients come to you, do they have a kind of typical profile?
Yes, so there are a number of different problems that typically landlords in distress would come to us with, and primarily the three key ones would be mortgage arrears, and generally these clients will have interest-only loans, of course, minimal levels of equity or perhaps no equity at all, and thirdly, very short remaining terms left on the end of their loans.
Indeed. And, you know, when they come to you, is there kind of your mantra, you know, don't stick your head in the sand, come and talk to us when you start to feel concerned? Because, you know, some lenders can start sort of talking about bringing in receivers with just, say, 2 months arrears. So things can unravel very quickly, can't they?
Yes, absolutely. That would be exactly how we prefer if a client can come to us as early as possible and they think they have an issue. One of the key problems, I suppose, is that being a landlord can be quite a lonely existence in some ways, and often people will think that maybe they're the only person who is in that situation. They may feel that other landlords that they know don't have the same issues as them. It's something that often maybe isn't talked about openly. And we find that when clients actually speak to us, even if it's just a brief phone call or if it develops into something further, that they get an awful lot of relief from speaking to people that know what they're talking about and can at least give them some sort of advice on exactly where they stand.
Now, you specialise in this niche of kind of landlord debt solutions, really. You're FCA regulated. You're the only company in the UK that has this high level of FCA regulation. And you have a very, I would say, holistic approach to solving these kind of problems, because you don't want to automatically reach for very harsh remedies. There are other ways where you can negotiate with lenders and so on. So you really take a holistic approach to the landlord situation, don't you?
Yes, basically our process would involve, after an initial chat with the client on the phone, we would invite them in for a face-to-face consultation. We would talk them through the services that we offer. We'd talk them through, in general terms, what their options could be. If they then would like us to conduct a full case review, we'll do so. We'll retrieve original lender documentation. We'll put together a pack, basically, whereby we'll meet with the client again and we'll run through all of their options. Everything from a restructure. We'll weigh up their portfolio based on properties that maybe should be disposed of, properties that should be retained. We'll run a comparison then in terms of how we would approach the existing lenders to amend the existing loan contracts. We would also look at options that would involve both statutory and non-statutory insolvency as well.
Indeed, and you have a very good relationship with the lenders. You've worked with them, you know, for a number of years, even UKAR and Mortgage Express.
Yes.
And you know, we do hear, you know, you've got some amazing examples of very significant amounts of debt that have been written off. And you know, playing devil's advocate, somebody might say, "Oh, well, that sounds too good to be true." But these, you know, you are able to negotiate some of these amazing, reliefs for landlords.
Yes, that's correct. Whenever we've conducted the case review for the client and we've presented them with all of their options, naturally we'll make a recommendation on what we think the best outcome is for the client. Ultimately, it'll be their decision. If a client takes a decision whereby they have a significant level of mortgage shortfall debt and those properties are to be disposed of, we have, as you say, a good relationship with all of the main lenders. We would then negotiate both the disposal and the subsequent settlement of the shortfall debt. And from a lender's perspective, when they're looking at a situation that is, in many cases, long-term, it's totally untenable. It becomes less about the outstanding balance of the loan, and more about what is realistically recoverable and what is a fair and reasonable outcome.
So just to finish then, really your advice would be if you do go into arrears or you feel that your kind of portfolio isn't sustainable, it just obviously makes perfect sense to, you know, conduct a kind of review, an overview of that. And that's something that you can do with Negative Equity UK, really to help landlords understand their current position, what could happen if they don't take action, which could be a lot worse than if they kind of do take action now. So it's really being proactive, isn't it?
Absolutely. We get an awful lot of inquiries actually from other professional advisors. So our clients have spoken to their solicitor, their accountant, their financial advisor, who've maybe taken it as far as they can based on their level of expertise, and then have introduced that client to us to complete that audit work or case review, if you want to call it that. So sometimes it can be a case of a client speaking to us and simply getting a level of peace of mind, and to allow them to continue. And in other cases, obviously, we can take it further and provide that debt mediation service.